Hi.
Hey guys.
So it is draft day, day one.
Yesterday was football draft day one.
Yes. Now it is wrestling draft day one and football draft night two.
Hmm.
So, um, WWE has released the list of who's going each night because not everybody is eligible night one for draft. And thankfully this year they didn't put it in the order of the actual draft like they've done in the past.
That's true.
That's true. It is alphabetical order this year, guys, so it's all right. We're gonna be okay. So we have the list in our hands right now. We're gonna predict where they go. Plus, I don't think they didn't name the NXT people, so we're gonna speculate on
Hmm.
surprises or NXT call-ups. I think there's gonna be like four or five. I think maybe.
I hope so. They need something to change everything up
Well,
because
yeah, I think this is definitely going to change everything up too because the rumor is that the brand split is going to be more defined now. So that's good. Not everybody on one show kind of like it is,
that's
which
good
means,
because it confuses me and I don't know who's on what show for the most part. I'm
well,
very
yeah, I
confused.
mean, they're everywhere at this point. Which means also I think Sammy and Kevin's titles are being split. So
We do have a new title now.
we do. We have the World Heavyweight Championship. I like it. I think it's pretty.
I do too, but people were criticizing it. I'm
Like,
like, do you see what they have now? Like, it's not that great
like
now.
it looks
So,
it's so funny though because when the original red universal title came out, people were like, "It looks like a fruit roll up."
hmm.
And then the blue one and everyone was like, "Ugh, I don't like it." So, I like it and it's so funny to me because people are like, "Oh my God, that WWE logo is just so big on it." And I'm like, "Have you not seen like the AEW belt and like the IWGP belts? Like
Hmm.
what else was it gonna have on it?" Like I'm confused.
It looks fine to me.
I like it. I think it's pretty. Um, so the caveat on so we're gonna do the draft thing first because the speculation on who could be the first champion depends on where Roman goes.
Right.
So, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, let's start. First one on the list, who could be drafted tonight is Becky Lynch, and I think she's going to SmackDown.
Yeah, because they're probably gonna have her fight Rhea at some point. So,
Yeah. I think Bianca is staying on Raw.
yep.
Bobby Lashley, I think, is staying on Raw
Hmm.
because I feel like they're gonna have him against Roman again, which I feel like Roman's going to Raw. So
I feel like Roman's going to Raw too. I
yeah,
think he's getting a little boring at this point.
yeah.
And the what your network TV show should have a champion that's there all the
Well,
time.
and of course, there were the rumors that USA really wanted the bloodline on Raw specifically. So,
Mhm.
which I don't think Fox minds because the trade-off would be Cody Rhodes and probably Seth Rollins going to SmackDown. So,
And a champ there every week.
yeah. So, I think Bobby Lashley will stay on Raw.
I could see that.
Candice LeRae, girl, go to SmackDown. I need Candice and Rhea again.
I just need her anywhere where she's actually on television.
Yeah, it's been rough. But you know what? I think this is going to be good though because again, you're gonna kind of stack both rosters with this. So we could get different matches and she hasn't been on SmackDown and I think that'll be kind of a good switch.
Hmm.
Um Hunter, when it comes to the call-ups, Hunter's kind of been hit and miss on here. So I think she will be going to SmackDown. There's going to be a theme here when you look at my picks because I feel like SmackDown's going to become. Remember in 2016 when SmackDown became like the workhorse show where it's like all the
Mm-hmm.
guys who could work really well were on SmackDown?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be that again.
That'd be nice. That was a good time.
It was a good time. We had a good time then. But I think also because, then the women's division was really good too. And I think, somebody like Candice LeRae can do that on SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you stack with Becky, Candice, Rhea. That's a that's a good mix.
That's true.
Yep. All right. Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville are being drafted as a team. I think they're going to Raw.
I think they'll keep the women's tag titles on Raw.
Yeah.
Are you? Yeah.
Um,
Because nobody really cares,
yeah.
unfortunately.
I mean, it would be nice if they stayed on Raw and became like a mid-card title,
Yeah.
but we'll see. Which if that's the case, that would mean Liv and Raquel are going to Raw. So, which that breaks the hopes of Liv versus Rhea.
Mm.
So there's that. Cody Rhodes, I think if Roman goes to Raw, I think Cody's going to SmackDown.
Yeah.
They're gonna separate them for sure. Damage Control is being drafted as a team, which I did not see that happening, but um, which kind of broke up my predictions because I had Io and Dakota going to Raw and Bailey going to SmackDown. So obviously we can't do that anymore. I think they are going to SmackDown.
I thought they were gonna break them up before now.
I know. Girl, so somebody was like, who would be your 10 draft moves? And I was like Bailey going to Raw or Bailey going to SmackDown and Io going to Raw.
Yeah.
Well, which obviously we can't do now. But
Hmm.
yeah, I think they'll go to SmackDown.
Yeah.
Again, just for the workhorse show. Dexter, SmackDown. He needs a new start.
And he'd be there with Candace too.
Well, yeah, that believe me, I have a yeah. Dolph Ziggler, I think will go to Raw.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Well, that one chick does. I found her on TikTok, by the way. Dolph Ziggler girl, I found her.
Oh yeah.
She talks about Dolph a lot. She does. Drew McIntyre, I think, is going to Raw.
Mm.
Edge. This is the one I don't really know. I'm gonna go Raw only to get him away from Judgment Day.
Poor Edge. Isn't he almost done?
He was on Logan Paul's podcast and said, "I think I have another year in me."
Oh boy.
So he thought he was, but not anymore. Hit Row, I think they're going to Raw.
Yeah.
Because SmackDown, it hasn't really worked. Imperium. This is another one that.
SmackDown.
See, I thought that, and then I was like, but Bloodline, if they go to Raw, like I could see them putting Goon Imperium on Raw and switching the titles in theory going to SmackDown.
Yeah, but if you're talking about workhorse, I think you have to put
Well, yeah,
Gunther on SmackDown.
I know. See, that's the one I keep going back and forth on. Yeah, I'm gonna go SmackDown just because the eventual Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes feuds and LA Knight.
Mm.
I'm gonna go with that. I'm giving away all my draft picks. Lacey Evans, I think, will go to Raw.
And no one cares.
Matt Riddle will go to Raw.
Mm.
Maximum Male Models will stay on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Mustafa Ali, I think, will go to SmackDown.
I hope so.
I hope so.
He's
And
trying so hard.
drop this gimmick. Natalia, this is gonna sound so bad. Natalia go to NXT. I just can't.
She'd probably have a great time there. They'd all think she's wonderful and be like, "Oh, you're so
Exactly. This is
great."
a
Yeah.
good move for everybody. I don't have to see her, and Natalia could get the praise that she's like dying to have.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Omos, Raw,
Mm-hmm.
Shin, SmackDown.
I feel like Raw is gonna be more Vince's baby. And SmackDown's gonna be more Triple H.
Yes and no. Maybe. I don't know. It's possible.
And he loves almost, so
I mean, he might be fired here
he
soon.
might, but I feel like
By
he's
the
still
end,
pulling some strings
well, by
somewhere.
the end of the year, Vince might be gone. So again,
I feel like if they're gonna give him any kind of rating, like you can do Raw.
too raw.
You can make some Raw decisions.
Yeah, you just go over there. Sean's got NXT. I've got SmackDown. You just go to
Mm-hmm.
the Bloodline. And when they say the Bloodline, it is Roman and Solo, not
That's
the
interesting.
Usos.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. And I think they're going to Raw.
Mm-hmm.
The Miz, I think we're gonna get Friday Night Miz again. He will go to SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
Just because the Miz is like very underrated.
He's underrated and also he's good for like PR.
He
So
is.
I think he's better on SmackDown.
Well, and also I think he's been on Raw for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's time to switch. Put him on SmackDown. The OC, and this is they include AJ.
Mm-hmm.
So AJ Gallows, Anderson, and Mia Yim, which I feel like Mia Yim should have been separated. But I think they're gonna go to SmackDown.
See, I was gonna say Raw.
Well, I think they're gonna separate him because AJ hates Paul Heyman.
Oh no.
AJ hates Paul Heyman. But also, I feel like AJ's been on Raw forever.
Yeah.
He's been there forever. And Gallows and Anderson have been like just kind of swept under the rug on Raw, which sad to say is because of the Usos. So yeah. Street Profits, Raw.
Mm.
I don't think they're gonna separate Bianca and Montez. Viking Raiders, SmackDown.
Ugh.
I know. All right. Night 2. Akira Tozawa, I'm gonna go to NXT. Only because he can get a new gimmick and actually work.
Bless his heart.
He's trying. Alpha Academy, Otis and Chad Gable. Which I thought they were breaking them up, but I think they're gonna stay on Raw.
Hmm.
Angel Garza and Humberto, I feel like why?
NXT. There you
Yeah,
go.
actually, I was thinking that same thing. Asuka, I feel will go to SmackDown.
Hmm.
Theory will stay on Raw.
Yeah.
So basically, wherever Gunther goes, Theory will go the opposite. Baron, this is going to be
Oh
controversial.
no.
I think he should go back to NXT.
He needs to go somewhere where they actually want him on television, bless his heart.
I'm that NXT. I feel like that's a good spot, you know? Either that or like he did tease the lone wolf again on
That would be
Twitter.
nice.
Somebody made an edit of him as the lone wolf wearing the new belt, and he was like, "Hot damn!" So he wants it. He's trying, guys. He wants to be the lone wolf again. Bring
Get him
back
a leather jacket.
whatever happens, just bring back his old music,
Mm-hmm.
please. I miss that song. I sing it in my car and want to cry. Um, but yeah, I feel like either SmackDown or NXT. I don't think he's gonna stay on Raw. Braun Strowman and Ricochet will go to Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Broccoli Lesnar,
SmackDown.
SmackDown. Bronson Reed, I feel like will go to SmackDown.
Hmm.
only because that belt's over there. Charlotte Flair, Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Dana Brooke, NXT.
Oh, you skipped Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin.
Oh, they're at the bottom of my thing. I think they're gonna go to Raw. They'll stay on Raw. I think. I think. I'm still gunning for that Hurt Business reunion. Charlotte, Raw. Dana Brooke, Raw. Elias, I'm gonna go SmackDown.
Hmm.
Emma, Raw.
Wherever her boyfriend is.
Yeah. Who hey, got his name back. He's Riddick
I
Moss
saw that.
again. Johnny, I'm gonna go SmackDown. Judgment Day, and this is minus Rhea Ripley, which is sad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say SmackDown. I think they're gonna keep them together.
Oh
I
yeah.
think there's still too much going on. Cross, I'm gonna go to Raw.
Mm-hmm.
He needs a new start. It hasn't really worked on SmackDown. Sammy and Kevin, SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
LA Knight, SmackDown. Again, we got that big old belt, guys. Liv and Raquel, Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Nikki Cross, SmackDown. Piper Niven, Raw. Rhea, SmackDown. Oh, there's Seth. I was like, where's Seth? Rick Boogs, SmackDown. Riddick Moss, Raw. Ronda and Shayna, Raw.
Mm-hmm. If nobody
Seth,
cares about her anymore, have you realized that? Like
nobody,
even the people that were like, "Oh, she's so," nobody cares anymore
nobody
at
gives a shit.
all.
Well,
Mm-mm.
because she doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
So, why should we give a shit if she doesn't give a shit? Um, hold on, my phone cord just fell out. Seth Rollins, SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
Shotzi, I think she's gonna stay on SmackDown. I think. Tamina, Raw.
Raw. Mm-hmm.
Tegan, Raw. The Brawling Brutes, which I thought they were going to split them up here because, Pete being, getting his name back and all that. So, I was kind of like, oh, maybe they'll split them up. Apparently not. So I think I think they're going to go to Raw.
You think so?
I think so because I think they're going to want to do Sheamus and Roman.
Okay.
Yeah. The LWO SmackDown because obviously I think they're going to keep this whole Judgment Day LWO thing going.
Mm-hmm.
The New Day, which is Kofi and Xavier, they're being tagged. They're being drafted together. They're gonna go to Raw.
Hmm.
Unpopular opinion time. The Usos go to SmackDown.
That would be interesting.
I want to spice it up. Like, I feel
I
like
just
that'd
want
be,
Jay away from Roman.
but I also feel like they're gonna lose tomorrow. Still, they'll be on SmackDown because Roman boots them
Oh,
out.
maybe.
So,
They're still doing something with Jay and Sammy too. So
yeah.
yeah,
But also, I feel like it's gonna be because they lose, and Roman's like, "You're not." He lets them get drafted to SmackDown
I can see that.
because he doesn't want to deal with them anymore. Um, Trish Stratus, Raw.
Hmm.
Did I? Oh, Xia Li, Raw. Actually, NXT. NXT. All right. Now, speaking of NXT, I think there's gonna be 4 or 5 call-ups. I don't know. Maybe more. I don't think there's gonna be 1 or 2.
Hmm.
No. So one I feel like is gonna be pretty deadly to SmackDown. Because I feel like Seth is gonna want his own faction now because everybody else has one. And pretty deadly in Seth, the outfits
Oh, that's
alone.
true.
The outfits alone would be worth everything. Um, Cora Jade.
Yeah, because she was already backstage somewhere. Yeah.
Well, but here's the thing is they've had people backstage constantly.
I don't like her.
She's all right.
Hmm.
She makes me laugh though because like she totally is the love child of AJ Lee and CM Punk. Like if they had a baby, it'd be Cora Jade. So, and she loves them both so much, which we'll talk more about that later with something else we talk about. Um, I think Joe Gacy's getting the call up.
Hmm.
I think he is, which I'm just gonna say it now. I'd bang Joe Gacy again. I'm on the I'd bang him again thing. I- it's been a long yeah. I gotta yeah. Um I said I'd bang him when he was on the Indies, and then he came, and I was like, not so much now. I'm like, you know what? It'd be fun. It'd be a good time. Be a good time. Um, Also the eventual goat Joe Gacy and whenever Bray Wyatt shows up, which by the way, it's been 60 something days. We're coming up on 2 months.
Oh wow.
So week 7.5 of where the fuck is Bray Wyatt?
So weird.
Yes. And he's not on the draft. Neither is Uncle Howdy. Damn it, Bo. What happened? Um, who else? I don't know if Braun Breaker is or not. Part of me says yes, but part of me is saying no.
Hmm.
I don't know. Maybe. Somebody said Diamond Mine. Now that Roderick Strong is in AEW, they can actually do something with him.
What about Indy?
She's still the champion,
Oh,
and
she
she's
is. She
hurt.
lost it.
No, she retained,
Oh.
and she's hurt right now.
Hmm.
Grayson Waller, maybe. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So anyway, I watched NXT. This is what happened with Indy. She, um, this is how my week is running together, guys. I forgot who she even faced, but it was a good match. It was a triple threat, and the other chick did a cross body from the turnbuckle, and Indy tried to catch her. When she caught her, she like rolled her ankle.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but she finished the match, and she's in a walking cast now. So I don't think Indy's. I mean, it's possible, but I don't think so. I wish, but I feel like she will eventually show up on SmackDown.
Hmm.
Um, I feel like Grayson Waller, maybe, maybe. I mean, he injured Johnny Gargano, so I think they can, run that back. Um, but also, I think a couple surprises in this draft. One, I think Tommaso Ciampa will be drafted to SmackDown.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I think he will. Um, I also think Big E will be drafted to Raw
I hope
as
so.
a
That'd be
surprise.
great.
Like as the last draft pick, they'll be like Big E to Raw, and people will like lose their shit.
I know it'd be hard to keep it a secret from New Day, but it'd be funny. It'd be cute if they didn't
They didn't
know.
tell him.
Yeah.
Yes. Or like they don't draft the New Day until the last. And they're like,
Hmm.
the New Day is going to Raw. And everybody's like, oh my God, why were they drafted last? And they're like, Kofi, Xavier, and Big E. And they would just die. And then Big
Hmm.
E comes out, and then I'd cry.
I know, that'd be
I
good.
would just be sobbing. I would be a mess. Give us the moment, Hunter.
Hmm.
Um, Another surprise. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but Randy Orton to Raw.
That would be nice.
That would be nice. I feel like that would be a nice one. Who knows? Maybe they'll come out and be like Bray Wyatt to SmackDown.
Oh Lord.
I'll be like, oh my God, it only took him 2 months, but he's back. And everybody else would be mad about it, but I'd be like, yay. I'd be the only one cheering. God, this is pathetic.
No, it's not pathetic. I don't know.
I don't know what's happening. It's weird. It's very strange. So I feel like that's going to be the draft. I feel like that's going to be the only surprises, though. I don't think there's going to be any like earth-shattering surprises.
You never know. I wish there would be one. That'd be nice.
That would be nice. I just can't think of what it would be.
I can't either, but
Yeah, like what? There's probably something and we're just not like thinking of it. But
maybe we'll be pleasantly surprised.
we'll see. Anyway, something that would have been an earth-shattering surprise. But, he's still under contract with AEW and yeah. He the internet went wild on this one.
Mm-hmm.
So CM Punk was backstage at the WWE Raw in Chicago.
So I'm confused. So he was back there, but like I guess part of the officials didn't know he was back there because they said they asked him to leave, right?
Okay, so this is the story that I'm hearing, and this makes sense. So I'm tempted to go with this one because it makes a lot of sense. So apparently Punk was doing something in Orlando. Obviously Raw is in Chicago. There's a bunch of people who obviously live in Orlando who work for the WWE. That's like their other major hub of wrestlers other than Tampa is Orlando. So CM Punk was in Florida doing something. He was on a flight. There was a bunch of like Raw wrestlers on the flight. He got to talking to a couple people. They didn't name who, but part of me feels like one of them could be Baron because Baron seemed very excited. So, and it was confirmed that he did talk to Baron. So Baron could have been the one to invite him, but somebody said it could have been Tamina who invited him, whatever. So they invited him to come backstage. So he was invited. I don't want anybody to think that like he showed up and like did this grandiose like breaking in the building.
Though. He would just show up. You know he would.
Actually, they said he really had no interest until people started talking to him. So
I'm just saying, knowing him.
I feel like, well, and knowing him right now, like I feel like he wouldn't want to break in because then everybody's like, oh, it's just CM Punk. No, he needs to be invited. So everybody's like, oh, look, everybody's so nice to me over here, and you're fucking assholes. That's the second they dropped that invite, he was like, bingo. Anyway.
He could have asked for an invite. You never know.
Well, apparently he was very cordial to the people on the flight. They invited him. He was like, okay, cool, I'll show up. And he did. I feel like Tamina is the one to invite him though, because they have video of him talking to Tamina in the parking lot. So I feel like Tamina could have been the one to invite him. So he goes in, he apologizes to The Miz because The Miz was talking about Saudi Arabia like years ago, and Punk told him to quote unquote suck a blood money covered dick. So he apologized to The Miz. He was talking to people. He went to Hunter to apologize. They had a talk. And then Hunter said, oh, hey, wait, let me make sure that you're allowed to be here. Because, like, I don't know what's going on. I don't want to cause a stink. Obviously, because I feel like he's on thin ice with Vince already.
All right.
So he's probably, hey, let me just make sure. And then the second Vince found out, I guess he flipped the fuck out and didn't tell Hunter, but he called the head of security to have Punk escorted out, and Punk left willingly at that point. But apparently, up until then, it was actually a very nice visit.
Well, Punk's thinking about if Vince does get fired, like He's won it all lined up, ready to go.
He's getting it all lined up. And
Yeah.
Endeavor likes him.
Hmm.
Hunter, and apparently him and Hunter had a great conversation. So oh yeah, you know what he's doing? He's waiting for that merger to go through, and then he's gonna be like, buy my contract out.
Hmm.
That's Which is funny because Tony Khan's got rid of Dark Elevation, which I'm like, okay, cool. He got rid of it because, it's too much product. It's too much. He's like, oh
Adding
no,
another one.
we're adding a Saturday show. But apparently it's just for CM Punk because nobody wants to work with him. So it's going to be like FTR and CM Punk and the people who would be willing to work with CM Punk. Which now who knows, because apparently Tony was pissed.
Because he went to WWE.
Well, yeah.
Who cares what Tony thinks? I don't.
But you know what though? Somebody, the guy who owns Fightful explained it in a good way though, of like Vince asking him to leave was actually a smart move because like if he stayed the entire time and like Tony could come back and be like they're tampering with his contract.
Right.
And Tony would try to sue him.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Tony's done the same shit. So I feel like it was a smart move. So you know what? I'll give Vince that. It was a smart move.
Yeah.
But it's crazy to me that it took 10 years almost, but Hunter got an apology from CM Punk. Which Bucks, you know what that means? In the year 2032, you will get your apology.
I don't think they deserve one.
I don't think so either. I could see him leaving. Even if it's just for like a 1 or 2 off deal with the WWE, I could see him leaving.
Mm-hmm.
I could.
Just a big F you to all of them.
Well, yeah.
Yep.
And they're like, he works here. Why hasn't he? That's the part that kills me is like Meltzer and all of them are like, he works there. How is he not apologizing? Yeah, like,
have you met the guy?
First of all, you do not deserve to demand an apology from anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why the fuck are you demanding an apology from anybody? Like, that's a general rule in life. Like, if you have to demand an apology, you ain't gonna get an actual apology. You're gonna get like, well, I'm sorry.
Right.
Like, you're not gonna get a legitimate apology. You're just gonna get a fuck you. You made me apologize to you. But yeah, even Meltzer was shocked that this happened. He was like, I could have never seen this coming. Like, well, yeah, because the Bucks didn't tell you what was happening. Yeah. So there's that. But yeah, so I would hope that he did get to see Cora Jade backstage though. Because he knows who she is and she loves him and he thinks that she's great.
Maybe it happened.
I hope. That's my one hope is that, well, and Seth Rollins was in the corner throwing a tantrum. Why is he here? He's in like that big old fluffy coat, just like, why is he here? Like it's a fucking RuPaul's Drag Race reunion.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know what's going to happen with that. Apparently, we don't know how long CM Punk's contract is now. But apparently the Elites is up at the end of the year, so
interesting.
It might be the race to see who gets there first.
I don't want them there.
I don't want them there. Okay, I want them there, but only for like the fact that it's the biggest fuck you ever to Tony.
Yeah, but I hate the Bucks as much as I hate Tony.
I hope they like this is okay.
I hope they try out and don't make it.
Like Hunter's just like, hey, yeah, we'll have a meeting And then like at the end he stops Kenny and is like, I'm only offering you a contract.
Mm.
They're not getting a deal. That'd be funny.
Mm-hmm.
And then like when Hangman's contract comes up, they're like, "Oh, Hangman Page is WWE." And then like the Bucks have nowhere to go.
Mm-hmm.
They have to crawl back to Tony. It would be funny
Mm-hmm.
and be hilarious. Anyway, now let's talk about in the what the fuck news of the week. Um, Vince is getting sued again, which I feel like every week there's a new lawsuit. So
Mm-hmm.
Vince is getting sued again. And this time, okay, this is what I kind of love is like she the lady suing him was a writer from like 2020 to last year. And the reason she got fired was because that she stole a WrestleMania folding chair, which like I guess the male writers do all the time. So she
Huh.
thought it was okay and then she did it and got fired. But I feel like also this is the petty fucking move because now we all know what happened in that writer's room and it is fucking disgusting. Like even if this lawsuit gets thrown out, we know what happened in that fucking room now and it is
Right.
nasty what is happening in that room. First of all, should we start with the most shocking or I don't know how we rate these things because they're all pretty shocking.
I think the 9/11 thing was the worst.
But also the Shane Thorne, which man, he's hot. Hunting Reggie.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh,
That was bad.
that was I see those two. I'm like, I don't know which one. I
Mm-mm.
so we'll start with the 9/11 one, which is the most asinine. Well, not really, because the other one is too. Let's
Yeah.
start with this one because this is the one that I was like, the fuck? And then I heard that one and I was like, the fuck? So apparently there was going to be a love triangle, guys, between Aaliyah, who hasn't been on TV in a month or a year or months. It's been forever. Um, but between her, Angel Garza, and the man who is now Mansois, they were going to have a love triangle. And he was going to be harboring a deep secret. And that secret is at the age of 5 to 6, he mastermind 9/11.
So crazy. That just
Mind you, he's from Saudi Arabia.
for
Mind you,
for a company that like champions America and all this stuff to make a mockery of something like
well,
that.
you
That's
got to
shocking to
remember,
me.
Mansois is from Saudi Arabia.
Right. No, I get it, but
And
it's like
Saudi Arabia was behind 9/11, which I'm like, okay. But then you have to remember that WWE has a $1 billion deal with Saudi Arabia. So you're really going to have the guy from Saudi Arabia be the guy who masterminded 9/11.
this is true. But at the same
Yeah,
time, it seems like the racist stuff, I mean, it's terrible, but I could see them not caring. But
obviously not because they
but
were like,
something that's like making a mockery of America, and I'm just shocked that they ever thought that was a good idea. Like,
now, mind you, multiple countries are offended in this lawsuit.
mm-hmm,
We have Saudi Arabia. We
mm-hmm.
have the United States of America. We have Australia because Shane Thorne was going to be the wrestler hunter who hunted wrestlers who are people for fun.
It's like
And
that. What was that short story where the guy was rich and he hunted people
yeah,
for fun? I can't think of the name of
this it
that.
was by Stephen King. I forgot what it was
Like the
called, but yeah.
game. I don't know.
But anyway, um, yeah, he was going to hunt Reggie, an African American man.
Oh Lord.
The fuck? Um, yeah, yeah. Those two were the ones where I was like, And then and tamer yet still fucking disgusting. They wanted Bianca Belair to be quote unquote ghetto. And her catchphrase would be, "Let me take my earrings off so I could beat your ass."
That's the least shocking. It doesn't mean it's
Oh
right,
yeah,
but
oh
that is the
yeah.
least
I mean,
shocking.
that's why I said out on all the ones that we're not surprised at.
Oh Lord.
And then another one which we kind of saw starting to happen, but like, and this was from Vince directly. He wanted Mustafa Ali to have a beheading gimmick.
Oh my God.
Because remember when Mustafa Ali walked out and did that thing in Retribution where he would,
Oh yeah.
yeah, that was supposed to be a beheading gimmick, but somebody stopped that.
Oh Lord.
Um, and then when this African American female writer went to the higher ups and was like, "Do you understand the fucked up shit they're saying?" They were like, "Well, we've made big strides. About 5 years ago, there weren't even women in the writers' room."
Mm-mm.
Are you kidding me? Is this a fucking joke?
Mm.
And then apparently she got called. They kind of harassed her a little bit because she obviously was like, "This is fucked up." And then she got fired for stealing a chair.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Guys, there are no fucking words. And that's just the ones that we know about.
Terrible.
Like, you're what other idea? Now I understand why people are like, Bray Wyatt walked out. I'd fucking walk out too. These
Oh
people are
God.
nuts. Can you imagine some of the ideas?
I'm sure there was some sort of sexual harassment or like,
Oh, oh yeah.
yeah.
She did mention a blanket sexist storyline
Well,
thing,
oh,
so
yeah, I'm sure. Like, oh, the guy like touching girls and stuff. I could see that.
you know what? I say if we're really gonna make Austin Theory himself, he
Make
just
him be a
walks around.
Snapchat creeper.
He's a Snapchat creeper, and he takes after his dad, and his daddy takes after daddy, and touches women inappropriately, and then gets NDAs.
Hmm,
Yeah, I think that's
okay.
a great storyline for him. Just it sounds great,
Life
but
imitating art.
it's life imitating art. It's great. I feel like he would love that. I bet he has those Snapchat girls sign NDAs now.
Hmm,
Vince Vince probably gave him the name of a very good lawyer.
probably.
Yeah, Vince is like, "Don't worry, buddy, I got you. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be okay." But yes, guys, that happened. People are disgusted. I'd love to know what the Saudi prince feels about this, having the guy who they signed from Saudi Arabia being the mastermind of 9/11. I'd love to hear that. I'm sure it didn't go over well. But let's hope that this lawsuit is better than maybe who knows, maybe this is the one that'll go to court.
Yeah, it's true.
But I also hope Endeavor is listening to this and they're just like, what the actual fuck? Like, but there's a part of me thinks that they don't care because like Dana White slapped the living shit out of his wife on camera and like they didn't do anything about it. So, you know,
We shall see.
I feel like Vince is different though because he's 100 million years old and he looks like like Vincent Price was digged up. Like they went to Vincent Price's resting place, dug him up, and put him on a chair.
Hmm.
But they're like, "Oh no, we should color his hair still," and then they would just put black hair dye on him.
Oh Lord.
He looks like the Walt Disney was thought out.
That's harsh.
I mean, the thawing process isn't easy. It isn't easy and it isn't good. He looks like Frito Bandito.
Oh my lord.
I'm sorry, but anytime I see that picture, I'm just like, hello, Frito Bandito. Or I'm like, look, it's Vincent Price. Vincent Price could book better shit though.
Oh my gosh.
You have to admit that mustache picture will forever be. You know what? On Drag Race, they need to have a wrestling episode where they just read that picture. Like the library is now open.
Oh Lord.
Come on. You know backstage they read like the Raw after Mania when Vince was back there, you know they were reading him.
Oh, I'm sure.
They were like, that fucking mustache, where does that end?
I just keep laughing at the thought out
He's
Walt Disney.
he's thought out Walt Disney.
Oh my lord.
Oh my God. It's great. You know what? Can we get another picture of Vince with the mustache? Because like I hate looking at the man, but man, do I love reading that mustache. It's beautiful. And he's got like a younger girlfriend.
Oh
So
God.
is she the one who was like, Vince, you're looking a little old. Let's color your hair.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Let's color your hair and grow a mustache. You'll look so much younger. That woman had to be joking, right? And then he comes back with it and she's like, oh no, guess we gotta keep it.
It's terrible.
Also, for the love of God, Bray Wyatt come back and then have the Vince puppet have a fucking mustache. I will die. Please. I don't book Firefly Funhouse much on this podcast anymore, but if you're somehow listening, make the Vince puppet look like the cryogenically thawed Walt Disney with a mustache. Come on. It's not that hard. You know what? I'm speaking it out there because how much of the Firefly Funhouse did I book? A lot. If I speak it out there, it could happen. So, you know, you could even have like a bit where he's coming out of the freezer. Like,
Oh,
you can have him coming and doing like a Frankenstein scene on it. Come on.
I could see that.
Come on. Sir, you can have Uncle Howdy as Igor. Come on. It writes itself. Please. It writes itself. Well, I'll write it because apparently creative sucks. I'll write it and you just do it. Yeah. Come on. You could have Ramble and Rabbit like scared in the corner and Uncle Howdy pulls the thing. Come on. It'd be great.
Yeah, you got it. You already planned it out.
I've planned it out. It'll be beautiful. And then when he sits up, he could be like, you're fat. And then you just punch him in the face.
Oh my lord.
We know you want to. Which also, can I just say this lawsuit makes me 100% believe, which I did before, but now I'm like very concrete on this that he was calling Samoa Joe and Bray fat.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And then the whole Matt Hardy story where he's like, oh, you can't do the crab walk thing anymore. What are you, too fat? Yeah, I believe that now.
Mm-hmm.
I 100% believe that. So, there you go. Come on. Give me a little something out of this. Please. I'm trying here. But anyway, yeah, the draft is tonight and we'll see. We'll see what happens. We could be totally wrong with our pick.
Maybe we'll have a really great surprise. You never know.
I'm just trying to figure out what that surprise could be. Like, I mean, everybody else would hate it, but could we have Constable Corbin back?
Oh Lord.
Hey, he was good looking.
He was.
He was.
That man
He
is
looked
always
like
good looking.
he looked like the host from Applebee's, but he looked good doing it. He did. They had him. His suit game was not as good, strong as it is now. He was trying to figure out his style, and now he's got style. So let's throw him in.
Bless his heart.
I know. He's trying. Justice for Baron Corbin. The man is trying. Anyway, I think that's it for today.
We'll see what happens.
Now that I say that, some like crazy story is gonna break later. That always happens.
Well, maybe it'll be a good crazy story at least. We'll have something positive
CM
to talk
Punk's
about.
contract is bought out, and I'll be calling you like, hey,
We need to make an addendum to
can you get on here for 20 minutes?
like that sound. Was it from Keeping Up with the Kardashians they use on TikTok? I was like, hey, like how is it's amazing, but can you talk for a sec?
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey,
can you talk for a sec?
yeah. Yes. Also, guys, I am on season 6 of Vanderpump Rules.
Ah,
It's getting spicy. And yeah, it's a good time. Definitely watch Vanderpump Rules because the scandal is breaking right now and it's getting nuts.
oh.
It is. Girl, it was worse than we thought. So she had her eggs frozen and they told
Mm-hmm.
her like, "Hey, it's better if you make them embryos." And she was like trying to get him to like go do his sperm, to make them embryos
Mm-hmm.
while he was fucking this other girl who is her best friend.
Oh my God.
Mhm.
That's terrible.
It's terrible. But next week everybody finds out that Raquel spent the night while Ariana is in Florida because her grandma died. Because when
That's
your grandma
terrible.
dies, you just go spend the night at her boyfriend's house and get in the hot tub with him.
That makes sense.
Makes so much sense. Anyway,
It's terrible.
we'll have to talk more Vanderpump Rules because OMG. Also, I feel like we are Katie and Lala, which are two characters on there because nobody ever believes the shit they say and then it happens. So that's us. No,
We're
no,
not man stealers.
we're not man stealer. Well, okay, so Lala was a home wrecking whore once,
Oh,
but like she admits it.
she's reformed.
She's reformed. And
Okay.
Katie just got out of a fucking 10-year relationship, and Raquel made out with her soon-to-be ex-husband.
Oh,
That Raquel chick gets around.
sounds like it.
No. Anyway, we'll talk more Vanderpump Rules later. When there's a week of wrestling when it's boring. Anyway, next week we'll talk about who goes where, what happens, and if the bloodline is still a thing. Also, if Judgment Day goes to Raw and Rhea goes to SmackDown, I'm gonna fucking cry.
No, I don't think that's gonna happen.
I'll cry. I'll be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? They're beautiful. But Daddy Balor in those pants. Also, that's another reason why the OC has to go to SmackDown. Daddy
Mm.
Balor and Uncle Alan have to, they gotta fight again. God, that was so good. Anyway, until next week, guys, where we know who goes where and where goes what, and we talk about the Puerto Rico show, which
Oh
I think they're
yeah.
just calling Backlash.
When
we're
is
just calling it.
that?
It is a week from Saturday.
Oh, okay.
But also, guys, if you must know, I did look up ticket prices to Puerto Rico when they announced the show, and it was just not something we could swing because let me tell you, I really debated Jen and I going to Puerto Rico
Oh,
because you don't need a passport.
that is true.
And I was like, we
That's
could go to the beach. And then I found out that the tickets one way were like $450 one way.
really.
Yeah.
I've only been there once for a day on a cruise ship. That's the only time I've ever been.
Well, let me tell you, I tried. I was like, oh my God, we should go to Puerto Rico. It'd be fun.
It
And
would be
then
fun.
what? I know like two people going to Puerto Rico too. And I'm like,
Really.
yeah, I'm like, I want to go. But anyway, we're gonna go somewhere else. We have another trip planned. We got some more fun times planned, which we still have to figure out what the fuck we're doing with that. But
Yeah.
we got more fun planned. It'll be a good time. Anyway, until next week. Bye.
Bye.